Welcome to the Mostly All Figured Out podcast with your host, Emily Rose. Regardless of the career field, the lifestyle, everyone is mostly figuring it all out. This podcast is where we pull back the veil of perfection and share true stories, experiences, encouragement, and of course failures, detailing how people just like you are making it all happen, despite the uncertainty, the fear, the imposter syndrome, the setbacks, the shame, whatever it is. If you believe there is more for you than what your life looks like right now, you're in the right place. Let's figure out our next steps together. Now let's get into the episode. Welcome back to the Mostly All Figured Out podcast. This is your host, Emily Rose, on this beautiful sunny day in Buffalo, New York. Yes, it is an ice rink outside, but it's sunny. The sun is out, and I'll take it. Give me that vitamin D. I'm coming at you today with a solo episode, and I just wanted to share about something that I did to start my year on the right foot this year. On both the right feet. I want both my feet in the ground the right way. And so the way I did that is I love a challenge. One thing about me is I love a challenge. I love a 30-day challenge. I love a 75-day challenge. Actually, I don't love a 75-day challenge. What's that one? 75 hard? Anyone who's done 75 hard, and I mean like actually did it for 75 days fully to the T, please reach out to me because I need to know how you did it, because that sounds impossible to me. Like, I love the idea of it, but 75 days. So quick, my basic understanding, if you've never heard of this before, 75 hard, I think you work out 2 times a day. You drink like a gallon of water. You have to read like 10 pages of a book every day and maybe some other things. That alone, like 2 workouts a day alone is hard. Drinking all that water is hard. I'm so bad at drinking water. It's something I need to work on. But very hard. So anyways, I love a challenge. Maybe I'll do 75 hard one day, but I did not do it right now. What I did do, what I'm still kind of working on, is a 28-day gratitude practice, okay? And along with, it's not just writing gratitude. Every day you kind of have like a related, gratitude-related activity to do. It is the book, The Magic, okay? So if you are going to judge me for believing I can manifest things, you should probably just leave now. I already know I already have. I'm sitting in my greatest manifestation ever, my house in my dream neighborhood in this cute little office, and I'm going to have a great background one day right here. But for now, you're getting my little pin board with fun stuff that people have sent me. You gave me cookie, got your cookie. Gave me cookie, got your cookie. Anyway, The Magic is written by Rhonda Byrne, and she is also the author of The Secret. So if you know anything about manifesting, probably you learned it from The Secret. I can still remember, who was the person? It was such a random kid who introduced me to it. I think it was like one of the dishwashers at Carrabba's Italian Grill, where I served for a little bit during and after college. Great experience. Loved it. Still love and care about so many of those people that I work with. But yeah, there was this random kid, I'm pretty sure. I can't even remember his name. Well, I'm not going to say names, but I think I can remember. Anyways, he was like, this is the stuff, The Secret, I'm telling you. And I was like, all right. And so I think he was a drug dealer. And it doesn't matter. Maybe he was really good at it, you know? So I read a little bit of The Secret, but my brain was like, no, the logic behind it, I don't get it. Fast forward to Emily, who's now 35, And she's fully all about this shit. But so the magic is kind of like the workbook companion to The Secret, right? So it's like teaching you how to do it. And really, it's gratitude. It's just gratitude. So the way it works is each morning you sit down and you write 10 things that you're grateful for. So I've got my little journal. I have this I love this journal. Like, you know how like there are people who will relate to this. There are some notebooks that you're like, yes, this, I could write in this until the end of my days. And then there's some notebooks and it's like, I get this away from me. This is horrible to write in and to hold, and I will never write in it. This is like, I don't know who got this for me, but this journal is actually really extra special because for my 34th birthday in 2023, when I was going through a very, very, very hard time, I had a karaoke birthday party, okay? And I don't know if it was Maria or who, I don't know who did this. Someone got this journal, and everyone who came like wrote little notes to me in it, like it was like they were coming to like my wedding or something, except that's actually not at all what they were coming to. I don't know why I said that. So yeah, I have all these like really sweet notes in here from everyone who came that night, and I think almost everyone who came that night. Let's see. Well, it doesn't matter. This one it says, Emily, here are the things I love about you. And then, if you're not watching on YouTube, it says, these pages left intentionally blank. And then at the bottom of the second page, it just says -Alex. I don't know why I'm friends with him. No, just kidding. Then he wrote me something nice on the next page. But anyway, this notebook, I love it because obviously like the first couple pages are these beautiful love notes from people. And I also wrote a little note to myself the next day. And I stuck that in here. And yeah, and it's just such a great journal to write in. Threshold. I want 100,000 more of these. And how cute is it? Anyway, enough about the freaking notebook. Okay. So every morning, as part of the magic, I sit down and I write 10 things that I'm grateful for. 10 is a lot of things. Yes. And I'm like, okay, when I'm done with this 28-day journey, which I started the 2nd day of January, and you may be saying to yourself, Emily, it's February 7th. The math is not mathing. And that is true because while I have stuck with doing the gratitude every morning, I didn't always stick. I haven't been perfect with getting the activity that you're supposed to do that day done every day. So I have repeated a couple days. But I was saying to myself, like, okay, yeah, after I'm done with this, then I'll do like maybe 5 things that I'm grateful for. But I really think that 10 is like just the right amount that you're stretching yourself a little bit, that you really need to look for things. And I think that's part of the magic here, if you will. Anyway, so you do this, then you do whatever the activity is. And then at the end of the night, before you go to bed, it's called a magic rock practice. Okay. And so you have a rock, a crystal, whatever you choose, sitting at like your bedside table on your pillow waiting for you, whatever you need to do to remind yourself. And you hold on to it and think through all of the things that happened during your day and pick the thing that you're most grateful for that day. If ever there was a time to start a gratitude practice, I do think it's now. I think that even just doing that alone, I know it's cheesy, I know it's cliche, I know everyone says this, but this practice, that part of it, has been so grounding for me and has really helped me to constantly be looking for things to be grateful for. And so then even when I am thrown challenges, which I have been already a plethora of times this year, as many of us have, both in my personal life, my work life, and in this country and what we're all seeing and experiencing, and the consequences that we're already navigating through. But having this practice to anchor me every single morning and forcing me to see things that are good in my life and in my children's life right now has been, I'm going to say it, life-changing. It really has. It really, really has made such a huge difference for me. And I'm seeing how it overflows into so many other parts of my life. So if you're going to do anything, do that. I do recommend writing it. Before this, I have tried to do the magic many times before and never gotten as far as I have now, which I'm on day 25 now of the 28 days. I will say that in the past, I have tried doing it in my notes app, like writing the gratitude in my notes app. And for convenience sake, that was good, especially with the boys. I think maybe the last time I tried doing this was when Eli was really little, so I think he was home. So it was more convenient, but there is something about physically handwriting the gratitude that I think has made a big difference for me. So a couple of my favorite practices that I want to share. Okay, so the first thing is kind of surprising with how much of an impact it had, how easy it was to do, and how quickly it changed my mood. So one of the days we had to take 100 steps, and while we took those 100 steps, you had to say thank you for each step. So like you take a step with your right foot, thank you. You take a step with your left foot, thank you. So you're like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, as you're walking, and just thinking about how grateful you are to like be able to walk and to move and to have functioning limbs and like all of that. And I did that. I took my dog for a walk, and it was cold, and I haven't really done a whole lot of walks since the weather has been snowy and freezing. But I did it, and I was feeling particularly stressful. Actually, I might do that. I need to do this right now. I'm feeling very stressed all of a sudden. You won't know this, but the first part of this podcast I recorded this morning after doing my gratitude. So I was all like, la, 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 la. I worked out this morning. I'm a rock star. And now it is 2:00 in the afternoon, and it is later, and things have happened, and now I'm stressed. But anyway, taking a walk and saying thank you with every step, even if it's in your house, like you don't have to go outside. You just have to walk, and with each step, say thank you. And I think the woman in the book timed it out, and it's something like it's only 1.5 minutes that if you're like continually walking, on average, most people will have walked at least 100 steps in 1.5 minutes. So it's not super long. But wow, just doing that, I think, number one, you're focusing on gratitude. But number two, I think it's just like forcing you to be present, because you can't think about anything else if you're thinking thank you with every single step. You know, that takes some coordination, some mental coordination. And that really shifted my mood. Yeah, so that's a tool that I'm going to keep in my back pocket and use as often as possible, as often as I can remember. Second thing that I found interestingly helpful was, and I've used this, I remember this making an impression on me in the past when I tried to do the magic, writing on physical bills, like medical bills or like bills that I have in my inbox. If I have printed bills, writing thank you for the money on them if I can't pay them right now. If it is like an email with like an invoice from someone, I put it in a folder, like an inbox folder. This is a whole other thing. But like, yeah, I put it in an inbox folder that says, thank you for the money. And I put it in there. And I truly feel that as I'm writing it or dropping that email in the folder, I'm like, thank you so much for the money that I'm like, and it's like, I know it's going to be there, right? I know I will have the money to pay for this. I don't have it at this moment, but I know that it will be provided to me at some point in the future. And so thank you for that in advance, TIA, you know? That really is helpful to me. I also have used this, I think she says in the book, like, what for bills that you have paid, write thank you paid on it and like put it somewhere. This book is a little old. It's like early 2000s. But still there's like so much that is not, there's so much that everything is online, right? Like who's paying bills, with a check anymore? So rare, but still, I try to get in that mindset, especially for things that I'm not naturally thrilled to pay for, you know? Like my boy's school payment is pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. My rent is pretty heavy, right? I'm annoyed by the heating bill in the winter. It's pretty heavy, especially here in this big old Buffalo house. It's different than my smaller Amherst house. So paying those things feels not always great. But what I've been trying to do is is instead like every time I pay money this past week I had to pay the school payment. I had to pay deposit for next year for both boys for the school. And I had to book their summer camps. So, pew, goodbye. See you later to thousands of dollars. Okay. But I actually have been just so grateful this whole week for this because number one, like this is the first time ever that I've been able to do this, that I've been able to pay for all of these things at the same time without having to like scrounge and panic about it. It's amazing. It feels amazing. So I'm like, thank you for giving me the money and the resources and everything I need to be able to take care of all these things for my boys, to have my summer planned out in February. This is not me. I am typically doing this in May, okay? This is incredible. And I got them into some really good camps and camps that they're going to have fun for and they're actually reasonably priced. And I got in there, you know? I'm so excited about it. So I write thank you for the money, for bills that I'm not paying right away for whatever reason, and things that I have paid as I'm paying them. Thank you for the money to pay for this thing that I need or this thing that I want. Thank you. That has really helped me, especially I think, you know, I have a lot of like money mindset stuff that I'm trying to work through, and scarcity is a big thing for me. And so when I pay bills, especially a surplus of them like this week, seeing that money go is just like, oh, yep, that's exactly right. As soon as you like an ongoing belief for me is like, as soon as I have money, it goes. There's something that I need to pay for. There's something big that's got to go. So as soon as I have it, it's gone. And so I've been like really working on focusing on being grateful for the money that I have to pay for these things and being grateful for the money that I still have in the account. I still have money in the account. Is it as much as last week? No, but there's still money there. And I still have groceries and I still have heat and I still have a school that my boys are in right now and that they'll be able to go to next year. And I still have the summer planned out so I can keep working and it doesn't have to be stressful. And I still have gas in my car. I do need an oil change. I hate paying for oil changes. That is another thing that is a problem for me, but we'll work on that. When I pay for that, I'm just going to be like, thank you for the money for this oil change. I'm so grateful to be paying because I really am not, but I'm working on it. So do try that. If you also are a person who struggles with scarcity mindset and blockages when it comes to money, try just saying thank you every time you pay a bill. Thank you. Thank you for the money. And if you can't pay it, thank you for the money anyway. Thank you still for the money. Last thing that I want to share that I found interesting. There's so many practices that I'll probably reference them, you know, over the year or whatever, but these were 3 that stood out for me today. So hopefully some of this resonates with you and they're easy enough that you can use them in your own life. But the last thing that I highly recommend, this one I have used many, many times, and I know I will continue to use many, many times, to show to help you get through a difficult situation or handle a difficult situation better or not spiral when you're dealing with a difficult situation. That last one is like the key reason I use this tool all the time. Creating a gratitude list for that situation. I know that sounds insane. Here's an example for how to use this. So let's say you have a difficult relationship with your boss at work, okay? And the tension lately has been rising. They are micromanaging you, or, that you just feel like they don't trust you anymore. They take credit for your work, whatever it may be, okay? You're going to write 10 things that you are grateful for, either in relation to the situation you're in or your boss specifically. So you might write, I'm so grateful that I got this job, because I remember when I received the news that they were extending an offer to me, how much that meant to me and how much of a pay raise this was from my former job. I'm so grateful that I have this job because 3 days a week I get to work remotely, and that gives me more time with my kids and the ability to stick to my nutrition goals and eating healthier lunches and eating out less. I'm so grateful for my boss because she has pushed me to be even more organized and on top of my game than I knew I was capable of being. I'm so grateful for my boss because she really pushed for me to get a raise 2 years ago, and that raise was really important to me. I'm so grateful for my boss because she shows me the kind of boss that I don't want to be when I am managing people, and it helps me realize what kind of a manager I want to be. So the idea is to have then 10 things that have you see, it's not like toxic positivity, right? You don't want to be like, I'm just so grateful for my boss because she really is so great. And really, if you don't feel that, then don't write that, But if you are feeling, but you can still pull gratitude from the situation, right? There's still things that you're getting from this situation. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's difficult, but it's going to help you, number one, not spiral and not go down and trust me, I'm the queen of spiraling. There are many people who would vouch for me there. It keeps you from going down that spiral of like, oh, well, she did this today, and then she did this today, and what's even happening? I don't understand, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it just puts a halt to that, Because you just kind of get an outside view. You pull yourself out of the granular of it and see things from the bigger picture, right? Because it's also so hard when you're in it and you're in the middle of all this stuff. Like, everything feels so important, It feels so make or break. And like, if things, I don't know, something dire could happen and then like everything will be ruined and blah, blah, blah. But like, you probably that probably has been a feeling that you've had for a number of situations in your life. And even if the bad thing happened, you still were fine. We're always fine. You always figure it out, right? Even when there are fascists in the office of the country. But anyway, this is also really great for personal relationships. If you have an ex, a co-parent, a friend, a sibling, a parents especially, like if they're really pissing you off, if something really bad happened, if, whatever, but you still have to be around this person or you still have to figure things out with this person, I highly recommend you do a list of 10 things that you are grateful for that person. I highly, highly, highly recommend that. In fact, let me see. Let me pull up the page because she does give examples of, I think she says a father specifically, just past page 111, my lucky numbers. Let's see, 77. That's also really funny, 77. Okay, so where is that? Sorry, bear with. Here we go. Okay, so here's an example of how you do this. For a son whose relationship with his father is troubled. The son feels that no matter what he does, it never seems to be good enough for his father. So here's an example of his list. Number 1, I'm grateful that most of the relationships in my life are really good. Number 2, I'm grateful to my father for working hard so that I could have the education that he didn't get to have. Number 3, I'm grateful to my father for supporting our family through my childhood because I didn't have a clue then how much hard work and money it took to keep our family going. Number 4, I'm grateful to my father for taking me to basketball every Saturday when I was a child. Number 5, I'm grateful that my father is not as tough on me these days as he used to be in the past. Number 6, I'm going to keep reading these because I think these are really good ideas, and hopefully this will help give you some ideas. I'm grateful that my father cares so much about me because he wouldn't be tough if he didn't care so much. Number 7, I'm grateful that through my relationship with my father, I have learned to have compassion and a greater understanding with my children. Number 8, I'm grateful to my father for showing me how important encouragement is in raising happy, confident children. Number 9, I'm really grateful when I get to laugh with my father. Some people never got to do that because they didn't have a father. And for others who have lost their father, they will never have the chance to laugh with their father again. Okay, well, that one is hitting me right in the heart right now. Okay, number 10, I am so truly grateful that I have my father because amid the tough times, there have been good times, and there will be more good times ahead with my father. So, those are some ideas. I did not consider how it was going to make me feel reading that stuff about a father. Unfortunately, we are dealing with a really tragic loss of a dad on Jackson's soccer team, and it's been just a really sad week. So that hit me there. So sorry about the little bits of emotion thrown in there. But that's it, folks. So those are my 3 things that I just thought, I don't know. I just thought that sharing those would be cool. They're really easy things for you to do, and I've found them to be tremendously helpful. Like I said, the last month and a half has been, it's been hard for a lot of people. I've had a lot of really good parts, and I think a big reason for that is because I've been so focused on the gratitude despite the really hard and really sad things that have kicked this year off. So, number 1, thank you steps. Just try it. Just walk around your house for a minute and a half and just say thank you with every footstep, especially if you're feeling like kind of grumbly, and see how it makes you feel. Thank you for the money. Thank you paid. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for giving me the money for these things. Like, wow, amazing. Yes. And writing a list of 10 things that you're grateful for, whether it's for a difficult situation or a difficult relationship. Highly recommend. And hopefully those couple of lists that I gave you give you some idea. If nothing else, I know you're tired of people telling you this, but practice gratitude. It doesn't have to, while I really do recommend writing it, if you can squeeze time in, and listen, if I can squeeze time in, you can squeeze time in, okay? That's rude. Ew. I'm not like the busiest girl on the planet, but make it work, right? We prioritize what we want to prioritize, period. That's it. If that's too much for you, do it in the notes app, or don't write it at all. My therapist, my previous therapist used to say to me, don't get too hung up. She said this to me the last time I did the magic, actually. She was like, it's really nice that you're doing that, but also it's not sustainable, and you don't have to write it. As you're taking a walk, think about the things you're grateful for. Just like go through a list in your head, as you're driving into work, think about the things that you're grateful for, and ending the night going through your day and figuring out what is the thing that I'm most grateful for today is so good. Such a nice practice for you. Also a practice that I have tried implementing with my kids. And I do remember it most of the time. And sometimes they remind me, but just asking them like, if it's not at bedtime, sometimes I'll do it at dinner time. What was your favorite thing that happened today? What was the thing that made you laugh today? What was, they're not, depending on their age, if you say, what are you most grateful for today? They'll be like, what? I don't know. So I try to ask in a more like, when did you laugh today? When did you have the most fun with your friends today? what was a special moment you had with your teacher today, you know? So I think those are really great things and good skills to be passing on to the kids too. And I've just found that it's really grounded me and really supported me. And yeah, even now, like when I came back to the podcast, I was feeling pretty crummy. But just like talking about this and thinking about all the tools that I have in my toolbox to help get me out of these funks is making me feel relief. So thank you for listening. Thank you for everyone who has encouraged me to continue doing this. Like my dead Aunt Cindy in a psychic reading I just had. Thanks, Aunt Cindy. So it's going to get weirder, guys. I'm sorry. Not sorry at all. But yeah, shout out to Aunt Cindy. She was a boss. Anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for sharing. I have a couple interviews lined up for this month. I'm very excited. Tomorrow, I am going to be recording a Valentine's Day episode with a very special return guest and one of the podcast's most popular guests that we've ever had. So excited about that and excited to share that. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a great day, have a great weekend, have a great month, have a great year, have a great life. And I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to this. Thank you for sharing it. Thank you for DMing me and telling me what you think about it and asking questions. Thank you for liking my posts on Instagram. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for leaving reviews. Thank you to everyone who has done all these things. I can't even begin to tell you what that does for me, like how it makes me feel. And I just feel like the luckiest girl in the world that I, have the gall to just be in front of this microphone and post this and have you listening to me right now. But that's shocking, Why are you doing it? But thanks, thanks. I keep trying to get better and I feel like I still have a long way to go, but gosh, I'm so grateful for the opportunity. And yeah, so thank you. I appreciate you and I'm grateful for you. All right, y'all. I'll see you in a week.
If you enjoyed this episode, there's a few things you can do to really help your girl out. Please subscribe, rate the podcast, give me a little review. All those things really do help me in a lot of ways. And this year, I'm really trying to expand my reach. I'm trying to get this podcast in front of more people who might need it. My people, our people. So let's keep growing this beautiful community of nice people who are just trying to be their best selves. So if you know someone who might like it, please send them the link. Share it in your stories, tag us, which is another thing you can do, actually. If you're not already, please follow us on Instagram at Mostly All Figured Out. I've actually been very good about posting new episodes every Friday, so you can see who is up. You can get some little sneak previews with some sound bites that we post throughout the week. And it really helps, again, in expanding our reach a little bit and getting us out there in front of more people. So thank you for doing that. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. Love ya.